Hi, my name is Uthe, and today we're going to talk about why buying organic food matters. Organic food has become the newest consumer trend in the grocery store. Over 24 million Americans are choosing organic food compared to traditionally grown food, myself and family included. The organic food industry is expected to reach $211 billion by the year 2020. That's over a 15% jump from today. Organic food costs as much as 20% more than conventionally grown food, but I think after listening to today's presentation, you will agree it's money well spent. There are many advantages to buying organic foods. There's first the humane treatment of the animals. That's important and is a growing concern among many Americans today. Long-term health benefits, including limited exposure to known carcinogens and pesticides, and our overall world pollution levels, as well as lowering greenhouse gases, limiting our fossil fuel usage, and keeping our soils free of additional contaminants. These are all reasons that every time you go to the grocery store, you should be aware of your choice. And every time you step foot in the grocery store, you are inundated by choices and unlimited options for your needs. So it's important that you as a consumer know what it is you're buying. Terms like organic and natural are thrown around, but not everyone knows what the difference is. Let me break it down for you. The USDA defines organic as not just the food itself, but the process in which it is produced. To be labeled organic, it must be certified under the National Organic Program, and organic foods are prohibited from using genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, antibiotics, growth hormones, nanoparticles, and climate destabilizing fertilizers. That is important to know because when you look at a product that's natural, it's easy to get the two confused. So let me break down what natural means. The term natural applies broadly to foods that are minimally processed, that don't have synthetic preservatives, artificial sweeteners, colors, flavors, additives, growth hormones, antibiotics, hydrogenated oils, stabilizers, and emulsifiers. But nowhere in there does it talk about GMOs or the use of pesticides. And I think every consumer should be aware of that fact. Now, as you see here, there are over 400 pesticides found in the traditionally grown strawberry, and there are none found in the organic strawberry. This is a huge deal. You might be thinking, why? Well, it's a big deal because I have children, and I'm sure many of you do too. So when I saw a study that was done in 2002 by the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, and it showed that children who ate organic foods were exposed to significantly lower pesticides than children who ate a conventionally grown diet, I was kind of alarmed. So we know that carcinogens are known cancer causers, and we know that pesticides cause carcinogens. So it seems like a no-brainer. But what you should also know is that in 2003, a different study was done that says that corn, strawberries, and blackberries have significantly higher levels of cancer-fighting antibodies. So according to the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry, it makes sense to consume these products in their organic state opposed to eating a conventionally grown version. Why ingest pesticides when you can ingest antioxidants, right? So not only as a consumer do you need to know the difference between organic and natural, you also need to know that 77% of all produce found at your local grocery store contains pesticides. That's the majority of the store. And I'm pretty sure most of us don't think about how much pesticides we're exposed to walking by and grabbing an apple off the shelf. So choosing organic food reduces the amount of environmental impacts as well as personal impacts. So by choosing organic foods, we make a difference in our own lives, but also in the lives of those around us. By choosing organic foods, we use less fossil fuels and are not dependent upon synthetic fertilizers to grow our foods. In fact, organic farmers don't contribute to the 24 billion pounds of synthetic fertilizers that are annually dumped into our waterways, soil, and oceans yearly. Consumers should also know that commercially grown products can be fertilized with something called municipal sludge. They refer to this as fertilizer. But what it means to you and me is that the typical American farm is covered in dangerous pathogens, heavy metals, flame retardants, known carcinogens, and other things that come from the streets, the hospitals, construction sites, and you'll even find trace amounts of pharmaceutical drugs. Nobody wants that. And the other thing the average consumer doesn't know is that cold pasteurization is used quite regularly, and it's actually done with the use of nuclear waste. So when they irradiate the food to get rid of all of potentially foodborne illness, it also gets rid of the valuable nutrients and minerals that are found in the foods. And you're being exposed to minute levels of radiation. So what does this all mean? So it's not just the use and creation of chemicals in the traditional farming methods that we need to worry about. It's also the way in which traditional and organic farm livestock. It's all one big circle, and we're all in it. So when we talk about the organic farmer and the way they treat their livestock, we need to know a couple of things. First, traditional farming keeps their cows confined in one space. They don't move, and they have a very limited day. Organic farmers, on the other hand, let their cattle roam free, and this prevents potential foodborne contamination from ever starting. These cattle have a potential to infect the production line with E. coli and other foodborne illness because they are often knee-deep in cow manure when they are slaughtered. These cows, on the other hand, have very little exposure to their own manure, and almost no cases of foodborne illness, including E. coli, come back to organically raised cattle. One last thing that you can do on an organic farm is you can't feed the cows genetically modified corn. Traditional farming has genetically modified corn, but it also is mixed with something called slaughterhouse waste, which is essentially manure and blood that come from previously slaughtered animals that's then mixed into your genetically modified corn or grain, and that is then fed back to the animals. Doing this puts all of us at risk for something that is referred to as CJD. This is an illness that is linked to similar symptoms as Alzheimer's and is actually a human version of mad cow disease. Scary stuff. So in closing, I hope today that you've learned a little bit more about organic food, what your choices are at the grocery store, and when we look at the connection that our food has with the world around us, you know that the choices you are making affect your well-being, my well-being, and everyone as a whole. It seems very clear to me that 74 million like-minded people, like myself included, feel organic foods are the way to go for the future. Thank you.